is Florida Natural Farming at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and I was just getting ready to start my day, and I got some new plants yesterday. As if you watch my videos, you know that I'm kind of obsessed with these rare Aroids. So this is a Philodendron Heterocraspedon. There was some leaf damage. This is what happens when it's hot in Florida and you wrap them in foam or plastic. It burns the plants because they're releasing so much moisture, and then it gets hot and it just boils the plant in the box. But it looks okay. I'm happy with it. And this is, I bought a second Philodendron esmeraldense from Ecuador, Ecuagenera. I just really like their plants, and I like what they stand for. They buy land to save for natural habitat where these things grow. Somebody mentioned that I'm worried about the aroids spreading into the natural ecology. There's really no natural ecology left here around us. This is it. This is like the last stand of natural ecology going on in this part, because people just can't stay out of nature's way for some reason. And these things are very hard to seed, and I don't see them spreading. They're just too valuable to spread around. And they're so beautiful, why wouldn't you want them to spread? Tropical fruit trees, yes, those all, I believe, are invasive, or have the potential to be invasive, for sure. But these aroids, not so much. This is Philodendron Chironier, Mascara. And I was just looking at areas on it where I could cut it. I got this from Ecuagenera, USA. And it's just a beautiful plant. It had three big stems coming off of it. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plants, if you wanted, could be taken off that. And these are plants that I've started in our biodynamic compost. We grow everything in biodynamic compost, and because we're an organic certified biodynamic farm. So everything has to be grown in compost that we make here. And it's full of mushrooms, these little honey mushrooms. And this is Philodendron esmeraldense. This is Philodendron narrow. This is Philodendron, or yeah, patriciae. No, yeah, this is patriciae. This is Philodendron ornatum. This is Philodendron grandipes. This is Philodendron Chironier, and there's a little node of Monstera subpinnata. This is Philodendron tenue, I believe, CF. So this is another Philodendron tenue, but this is a cross. The leaves get quite large on these. This is our Philodendron linamii. Gorgeous, gorgeous plant. This is Philodendron Chironier, AFF. So I gotta plant those out. So I did get this other Philodendron Corrugatum, which all the leaves came burnt in it. So I chopped the leaves up and took off all the dead burnt parts and put it in our compost, and I soaked it in water first because it was super hot. So to cool it off, I soaked it in some biodynamic infused water, 500 horn manure infused water, rainwater. It was very cool. Yeah, they're gorgeous. So it's amazing what you'll do if you're a plant hoarder to get a plant. And this is Anthurium longicim. I always have trouble with this name. Longismilobum. Lobium. No, it's lobum. Anyway, something like that. They're gorgeous. They really are. So I was noticing this Anthurium Chironier had a, or no, Cirinoi, Cirinoi, has a new leaf. See that? They're beautiful. They certainly are. They seem to do quite well out in the orchard floor. So I got these to make my our tropical fruit trees healthier. Because we grow everything together in the same hole and plant stuff in combination with other plants. Because plants have a symbiosis with their environment. Unlike us, plants communicate with their neighbors, the environment around them, through the release of volatile organic compounds and with the help of other organisms and antagonists and fungi. So I'm going to go look at the mangoes today. Try to look at a lot of the mangoes because it's a very weird year, and the freeze and the mango deaths, because it's not all 100% perfect here at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. It's like paradise. Every day it gets better and better, but some of the mangoes didn't set fruit, like this buttercream. Well, there's one fruit on there, but it's gonna drop off, I could tell. But this buttercream's 2 years in the ground, and then others right next to it set tons of fruit and 2 crops. My bird people are here. And then others sent small second crop trying to form. And then a small first crop that's got, damage from the freeze and might fall off. It's just probably anthracnose. Who knows? The trees come with anthracnose. You can't hide it. You can beat it if you don't eradicate all the fungi, because the anthracnose can change into a tree beneficial fungi if you have the ecology in your soil. These lychees are they're getting ready to bloom. Nobody even discusses soil with mangoes, which I find so ironic. And this tree has 2 crops on it, a sweet tart tree. These are my eaten mangoes because it's right near the cow manure. Organic people freak out, so I can't sell these. Thank God. because they like to turn something into an enemy and try to blame that for all their issues. Even though the cow manure can't and hasn't wound up, fresh cow manure put on the ground around a tree is tree crop fruit does not go into the fruit and kill you. Yeah, if this was not a nice clean pond, if this was a slurry of E. coli filled cow manure, and I was growing the tree here, yes, there's a good chance you could get E. coli from that. But that's just poor management. We assimilate our manures into the soil on a daily basis. We don't have big, giant, standing piles of raw cow manure that's just heating up and turning putrid. So many birds here. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed that, but I don't notice this anywhere else I go. And it wasn't always the case here. But all this stuff is connected, and I believe it's our job as humans to take care of the plants and the animals and create paradise on Earth. And if you start eliminating things, then your chances of establishing paradise gets less and less by each organism or plant or animal that you decide to kill. And depending on your choice of poisons, you can take out a lot of life. So they really push using copper on mangoes here in Florida. Copper and sulfur. Well, sulfur destroys fungi, and copper kills all aquatic life, including frogs. And I know in Florida that the frogs live and sleep on the leaves of the trees. During the day. So if you're killing all the fungi, your chances of your tree to send signals or volatile organic compounds through its roots and through the air to the life it's in to provide a cure for this. That's plant immunity. So it could be as simple as a frog that was living on the leaves of the trees, that once lived on the leaves of the trees, the mango trees here in Florida, that excretes the enzyme in its waste, its manure or its pee, whatever it is. Frogs do, both, I think. That can cure the issues on the mango. So it's just like with your diet. They say eat a variety of stuff, all the colors. The same things in the soil with the plants. tree is hopefully gonna have fruit. I would say yes. So these plants and everything, it's in Florida we're on sand, and the hardest thing to do in sand is to keep carbon in it. Living plants is what puts the most carbon into the sand. So if you have like one plant and a lawn, a monocrop lawn, it's not gonna be the same as if you had a variety of different plants, all different heights and textures and leaf size. Maximalism pretty much in the soil with plants can create paradise. I mean, your pictures of paradise are always like abundance of trees and leaf sizes and animals looking out. It's not just of your chosen plants. I mean, why don't people look at the soil here in Florida? It's like, it is the easiest place to grow. So none of these mangoes have very much fruit on them, but this is all along the neighbor's road over there. And the ditch on the other side of that fence, which is the property line, the center of the ditch. And they sprayed glyphosate in that ditch on their side of the ditch, but it's like 25 feet from the mangoes, so I can't really sell any of this stuff as organic certified. Thank you, neighbors. Yeah, they knew we were organic. They just choose not to believe in it. It's all branding and messaging by corporations, for sure. So to be able to think it's bad for somebody to hug a tree is just nothing more than brainwashing, as far as I'm concerned. Because we have to have the trees in order to create paradise, and I thought that's what everyone wanted. So it's just, look at the fruit on flowers on this black sapote. I have never. Oh, I hug you, tree. We have to have the trees. The animals need the trees. We don't own all the native ecology, but yet we rip it out and destroy it. We don't own all the animals that everyone's to enjoy, but if it walks on your property, people kill it. So I have these Aroids that I got because eventually this is going to be a big shade garden. And because it's a 6-year-old food forest. Citrus sure looks ugly in the sun, but it looks healthy. It's not like it has greening or anything. It's just some of the leaves don't look that good from the sun, I believe, and not watering it causes stress. It's loaded in fruit. I mean, just hundreds of fruit. This is the second year this tree has produced fruit. It's a seed I grew from fruit I fruited on our other property. Yeah, so they have not proven this, but I'm most certain that, if all these roots are connected underneath the ground, that the plants that they're connected to become the part of the plant that they've bonded with, like a grafted, but happening underground. Whether it's direct root to root or root to fungi, that's in a healthy ecology, that's how it works. So they're able to grow and get huge and flower in deep shade conditions. The rainforest, the cloud forest. There's a orange sherbet that got some fruit on it, I see, but not a lot, a couple. And I don't know, it looks like it's trying to do something. Flower? No. Is it flowering? It's quite possible, but I haven't had orange sherbet long enough to know if it's a good repeat flower. So most people would want to remove all this stuff, but I mean, this is fertility. This is untouched, unwalked on, fluffy, healthy soil. Because we don't walk on any of this. Obviously, you don't walk through stuff that looks like that in Florida, generally, or anywhere. There's too many snakes here, I guess. Look at this orange sherbet. These seeds, I'm for sure. This tree is so prolific. This is a 2-year-old tree, and let me just go around it so you can get an idea of what it's doing. So all these mangoes there, most of them are nursery started. I have started growing them from seed. That's what I want to do. I want to grow all our mangoes from seed, so they don't have any of these fungal issues that the nursery growers give you in their trees. There's nothing against the nursery growers, it's just the way they farm. It's kind of like curing a disease in humans with, I don't know, this is peach cobbler. It has some mangoes on it, and it's got some bloom on it still. Chemotherapy. Looks like it's trying to do something here. Let me look at that one. I mean, all this information that was just common knowledge, that you couldn't build soil, or build soil structure in sand. You couldn't dry farm all these plants, the cacao and fruitum, and you couldn't grow delicious citrus with just cow manure, basically. I try to read some stuff on, like, you know, the forums and stuff on, like, tropical fruit, but it seems like most of the information on there is just so, you know, I mean, I saw that using manure to grow star apple too much is, they don't like it. Too much of anything, they don't like. Anything, whatever it is, too much of it. But I have started the Juicy Pearl Star Apple and pure zebu manure cuttings. Just, you know, small cuttings. Scion wood. And they've rooted. And I have them growing in a... These are world's best. They're pretty good. I kind of talked smack about them the other day, but I'm gonna plant some more of them. So the stuff does grow in pure zebu manure, and I give large. Seems like the more manure you give to healthy, I'm not talking about black cow or something like that, bag manure. I'm talking about our healthy daily manure. But if you put 50 pounds next to that tree, it would probably produce 10 times as much fruit next year. This was Cepidilla gigantea, and I guess it was just too much for it. I thought it survived the freeze, but that didn't survive. That was a sugar loaf. This didn't survive. Here's a mango tree. Forgot I had. It's the problem with planting them everywhere. There's some mangoes on it. See some mangoes. It's 2 years in the ground. Looks like it's trying to do something here. Who is this? Juliet. This tree produced a lot of fruit. Still has fruit on it. This black sapote tree. And it's flowering. I guess it's a continuous fruiter now. I really didn't know how to pick those perfectly, because my problem is, as I started growing 10, 11 years ago in Florida, tropical fruit trees, but I sold my farm when it was like 3 years old, you know, the first one, and so I never got to experience fruit production, even though I've been growing the stuff continuously at our beach house. But that, I didn't have the same amount of trees that I had planted at our original place. So now here I am, even though I've been growing them 10 years and know how to grow them, I wasn't sure about the fruit. I'm gonna stick to mangoes. I wanted to go see if there was that fruit was still on that Garcinia Humbroniana. So it's like, I don't know. And then I was thinking of selling again. I'd like 5 years. I don't know what I was thinking. It's just starting to look so pretty and good here that I'm glad that I didn't sell it the first time, this property. Look at the mangoes, Eric. You're forgetting a few. I've forgotten a few over there. I think there's a Philodendron and an M4, something over here, and then I'll walk to the back. Yeah, plants don't rob nutrients from one another. I'm sure it can happen, but I mean, all those studies they said to clear out the plants, those are all studies, you know, controlled studies done on market gardens mostly, not tree crops. Look at all those mangoes on that. I mean, have you? This is a little tiny tree. Looks like it's gonna lose some of them, but who is this, Julie? No, 015. This one froze. Right next to the ginger, which kind of surprised me. This is M15. It has, looks like, one mango fruit on it that I can see. No, this is Kezar. I like Kezar mangoes. Oh, three mangoes. Oh, 5. 2 years on the ground. It's a little tree from a 3-gallon. All these trees have been planted from 3 gallons. Who was this that fried? It looks like it's coming back. Edgar above the graft. Got a little citrus planted in here. Little citrus right there. Citrus I planted last year from seed. Okay, here's a Philodendron. It's juicy fruit jungle, baby. This is a Namdak Mai, but we have trees that are loaded with fruit. I showed them at the beginning of the video, I believe. It's kind of location to location. That was like the worst spot in the yard. I'm gonna go see that bigger tree over there. I forgot to look at it. It's location to location because it's the soil changes from spot to spot depending on what's growing in it and what abuse has it been given. You really gotta look at the soil in Florida, because I mean, if they would do something about these chemicals, Florida could really turn into a organic super spot. But because all these houses are on septics in Florida, it's bizarre to me. I'm surprised that they're even allowed to do that, but that's Florida. I'm from California, where we have city sewers. Yes, out in the country you have septic like this on, you know, large lots, but all the houses in like the cities and stuff are on septic. And then they mix their chemicals in it and it just poisons everything. We're supposed to get our nutrients from diversity of plants, and that's how the soil gets its nutrients. One of the ways. Diversity attracts diversity below ground and above ground. All we really have to know is to not disturb the soil here in Florida. There's a mango there that doesn't have any fruit. Not sure what it is. It's a little tiny little jackfruit tree. Produced 2 fruits last year. I gave it some manure. I'm sure it'll produce fruit this year. So we plant a lot of stuff in the same hole now because I learned to try this because of the 3 sisters. And just so that's Aroids and starfruit. This stuff is not watered, and I planted it at the beginning of winter. Here's citrus and jackfruit. I mean, the fruit comes in big with lots of seeds, so of course when it drops to the ground and spreads, it's gonna like have all the plants all in the same spot coming up, not separate itself out and put into pots or separated like 20 feet apart from its nearest neighbor and then have wood chips put down. People are so eager to just start reducing the system. Reducing the system brings you closer to a hellscape. So, removing plants, killing bugs, killing frogs. It's the opposite of the direction we're supposed to go, but thanks to colonialism, it's what we've been taught. And marketing. It's like, don't ask the people at Home Depot how to grow your plant, what you should do. Look it up yourself. I mean, it comes naturally to all of us. It shouldn't be, it's just common sense. We've gotten to a point as a country where a large segment of the population has been poisoned. And I know that insecticides cause brain damage in all life. And I'm sure that's one of the ways they get you to think that what's right is wrong. I don't know, it's just how I feel. I know that from drinking my fruit leaf teas. Took me a while to really realize this, but so I make these fruit leaf teas, and I've been doing it for several months. Those of you who subscribe to me and watch know. And then I stopped doing it for, I think, a month or 2. I don't know exactly how much time, but long enough to see if I felt any different. That's a J31 jackfruit. It'll fruit this year. This is all dry farm stuff. It's not watered. I noticed that my brain worked better. And it kind of makes sense because we're all running off nutrients, and in order for those nutrients to get processed, you've got to have some sort of chemical reaction. And the polyphenols, and those are the lychees. They look good. This is a sweet tart tree. The antioxidants, the human beneficial volatile organic compounds, human biogenic, is biogenic just plant? No. VOCs, trigger reactions for nutrient cycling. So it's all connected. The communication network can't work if you've polluted the tree leaf with fungicides. The soil life can't communicate if you've turned off the communication ability of your plant by applying nitrogen, water-soluble nitrogen. I mean, hearing that all these places in Florida are, I mean, and they're little tiny lots. They're all on septics, and then they're telling you have to apply fertilizer anew. I'm fairly certain that there's enough fertilizer there. I mean, it's just, that doesn't even make sense. Just like adding calcium in Florida. Oh, we're on calcareous rock. So this is, yeah, I should talk about the mangoes. So these mangoes got hit hard by the freeze. This was you know, there's not a lot of plant life in here. The orchard floor is starting to look great, finally. This was a horse pasture for 50 years. So super compacted. And then I mowed it. I continued mowing it and planted my little 3-gallon trees in here. So the bigger ones, these over here. These over here are 2 years in the ground, except for that large one from 3 gallons. And you can see the ones that, let me see if I can get no reflection here. Yeah, those dead ones back there. That's the freeze. The freeze. I see four dead. I see 4 dead mangoes. But I also see some new leaves coming off, probably the graft. But I planted a bunch of seedlings, have been planting a bunch of seedlings in here. Seeds. That's cotton candy. I think this is coconut cream. There's no mangoes. These are the bigger trees that are like 4 years old. But this area used to flood, and it would have standing water like 20 inches deep all across here. And the mangoes in this section started getting that dieback disease, because this was all once filled with the large mangoes. So I stopped it in its track with some bokashi black soldier fly leachate, and then I buried the biodynamic horn in here, and I've been giving manure between each of the trees along the driveway here, or along the walkway here. And for the first time, we didn't have any standing water last year. And in this section, it looks a little lower right there. There's my little zebus. Midnight. Black ones are bull. And can't even see the manure now. And then I do chop and drop of these pepper trees every year, once a year. The wood disappears. I mean, and then I planted mangoes in here, but most of the little seed mangoes and the cashews didn't make it. Fairly certain that's a toxic mushroom. But these all made it, these mangoes, they'll be fine, they look good. It's amazing that all of them didn't die and freeze back. I'm fairly certain that there's some sort of mechanism that controls the trees that sacrifice themselves for the good of the rest, because it's all kind of a water pressure system with the water going in the carbon of the tree. So the trees are holding and moving water constantly through their cells, just like we do. So if they're able to communicate to one another through the soil that's not compacted and has a lot of fungi living in it, they can decide who's going to sacrifice themselves. And really that's the only thing that explains what's going on here, where it's just random. So by adding a lot of bananas in there, that would provide a lot more carbon that would generate heat. But I just can't grow the bananas fast enough. So, so I don't like to buy plants anymore. Most of them are grown wrong, started wrong, and they're hard to get now. And I kind of don't have to. I mean, we have plenty of everything, don't you think? So none of these mangoes are flowering, they're fruiting. These are all fruit punch, but none of them died. This is all burned from the freeze. It's not anthracnose, though they do have anthracnose. They come with it from the nursery. I see one little fruit back there on that tree. Can I see it? No. There it is. Probably fall off, who cares? This is Valkyria, which I love this mango, but it's outgrown this freeze. Hopefully that's it for the freeze, knock on wood. I mean, I've been here in Florida 13 years, or had a place in Florida 13 years, and lived here for 10 years. This little mango got froze. This forest has grown up in since I stopped mowing more than 3 years ago. It smells so good. I'm sure those mushrooms are probably poisonous with the blue ink. No. So that one looks edible to me. This one. What is this? Oh, that looks like, I know what that is. Y'all know what that is. Yep. Mushrooms. Sulfur kills mushrooms. You need them. So this is all cotton candy mangoes, and I see some fruit on this one down there. Where is it? I see it. Right there. And I see a lot of fruit on and that one died. And this one didn't fruit at all. And it looks like it just, oh yeah, it has fruit on it. Quite a bit for a little tree. This is a cotton candy that is flowering a little bit. A little bit. Got some starts of fruit. Maybe it'll set, maybe it won't. This cotton candy got hit. You can see the freeze burn on it. That little that's a pina colada. Pina colada. It's a good tiny little mango. All three of them got fried, but I see new growth on the one in the back. This one has new growth also. And this is our biggest ice, it's not the biggest one, but this is an ice cream tree, mango tree. And this got, trying to do a little fruit set here, but it doesn't look very promising. I thought it had some fruit on it though, but it got hit hard by the freeze. I mean, you can see the damage, so bummer. But she's a repeat bloomer, so it's, oh, and I see ice cream mangoes on the one. I'm gonna go back there and look at them. I don't know, we have, so, you know, we thought we had 350 mangoes, including the seed grown ones, like 275 grafted 3 gallons we planted that were alive. This is an ice cream mango that has fruit on it. She's a pretty big tree, getting there. It's good because I really like ice cream mangoes. It's growing with all these wild blackberries or whatever they are. They're not very good fruit, but there's a huge patch of them there. And then y'all know what this is. This is I think a Valencia Pride. Got fruit on it. And this one got fried. I think it was a Valencia Pride. And then this one has a lot of fruit on it. This is a Valencia Pride. Valencia Pride's not my favorite mango, but to be honest with you, I got sick on mangoes from eating too many last year. I deserved it. I was being a gluttonous because I could. It had always been my dream to do that. And yeah, there's a lot of mangoes on here. Looks like it set a second crop. These little tiny ones. Yeah. This one doesn't look very good. We get a lot of fruit here. This was an off year, as you can see. And it got really cold here twice. We would have been fine with the first freeze because I didn't notice any damage. And it was actually colder the first night, but it was the second night. It was 2 nights in a row that did it. The trees just couldn't, and it didn't get that hot. It only got 60 degrees during the day. So the trees, or maybe even 59. This is a cherry tree that looks like it's flowering now. So who knows if we'll get fruit. It did not set fruit the first time, but it got hit hard by the freeze. But it's got flowers, it's trying. We'll see. I think this is a, who are you? Are you a, no, who are you? I don't know. Not sure who that is. There's a cogshaw, not my favorite mango, but we're gonna get a freeze dryer this year, so We can freeze dry our mangoes. This is a little ice cream mango that got hit by the freeze. I have a trail over here. This is the curry mango that got hit. There's some mangoes on there, and not a lot, but I mean, it got hit pretty hard. I don't worry about, what do people worry about? Ambrosia beetles. If you got them in your dead wood, they're coming to your place whether you want them or not, so you're better off just leaving the dead wood in place and letting something consume their ambrosia beetle manure that might attract or kill them or repel them. I don't know. That's just people's idea of reducing. Sure, I know the pests are a problem, but I mean, if you're finding them in your wood, they're already in your soil, so you gotta look at soil health to combat the pest issues. Probably in like city gardens on septics, there's too much nitrogen in the soil for the plant's ability to repel insects, so that could be a lot of people's problems in town. It's the ice cream mango. Think it would that would like protect it, but this mango here got froze. She got hit hard, so size does matter. Planting more plants in here, bigger plants, all different sizes would help, but you know, I do this by myself and I'm trying to do all this back part back here by seed, and sometimes you just have to keep throwing seeds at a situation. I know I've seen little achachas that I planted are coming up, so they didn't freeze back, but they got protected by this. The stuff that people hate that they mow or cover up. Okay, we got some more mangoes over here. I should go look. This Lancettia is loaded, and I like these mangoes. These are huge mangoes. When they're ripe. Plant stuff together. Plants are not, they're not like us. They're not trying to reduce their environment. Eradicating, making things go extinct from their yard. They're trying to draw life to their habitat they're trying to create. This is a lemon zest mango that had fruit on it, and it looks like it's one little fruit that probably will fall off. The ground smells really good here. I put all this manure late around these mangoes. I found that probably if I could have done the manure while they're fruiting, and then after they fruited would have been best, but because of the laws surrounding the use of raw manure. This is the sugarloaf mango that hasn't even woken up yet. And I have a feeling when it does, it might fruit. But even though the manure can't get into the fruit and cause E. coli, and if you're applying it responsibly, like only 2,750 pounds per acre per year, then, I mean, the nitrogen content, overall nitrogen is so low, and it only drops at, it's slow release. Organic fertilizers are slow release. None of these mangoes have any fruit on them. Surely, or there's one little lemon zest fruit. This is a big peach cobbler tree. Then they would have probably held fruit and had fruit on them, because the zebu manure makes things fruit. So this mango got froze. And this is the donkey pasture. Very healthy spot to plant trees. So I started planting cha-cha trees at the base of all these like big woody herbaceous weeds that people despise, the Caesar weed. Because cha-cha grows excellent. So that's a mango that got half fried. This one got fried, I know, because I walked by here earlier, but I see new growth on it. That's good. So it's going to be an okay mango year. It's not going to be stellar, but I'll take some fruit. I'm okay because, you know how expensive plants are now, and I've been hoarding those philodendrons. This tree's got fruit. Well, I was told to stop because I wanted this like $1,200 houseplant that was like the size of my fist. And I had this farm utensil, this wooden farm utensil that I've been like collecting salad in. When I go out, you know, I just cut salad and bring it into the house, and I kept it out in the laundry room. Well, I had it turned over while I was walking to look at the salad, or get the salad, and I noticed there was like a signature on the bottom, and it turned out to be some wooden bowl from Denmark by Finn Jewel that I bought at a flea market 30 plus years ago, I think in Ohio, and I know in Ohio, and I looked it up on the internets and saw that it's in the Museum of Modern Art, those bowls by Finn Jewel, and Kay Bogeson was the name of the other name on it, from Denmark. And so I sent pictures to this auction house, Clar's Auction in Oakland, and they wrote me back, or they called me. That's what they did. No, they emailed me that day, so, and said, yes, we could sell it for up to $5,000. And so I was like, yes. So I put it in the mail and sent it away. I'll miss my garden, my lettuce harvesting Finn Jewel bowl, but I mean, really, I don't need a $5,000 salad bowl, but I do need a $5,000 houseplant that's gonna make my garden grow better. So I have to get the Spiritus Sancti Philodendron and make this a more beautiful spot with more diversity. Anyway, this is Florida Natural Farming at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. Enjoy your day.